So we start now with our online press conference on the project Echo for Peace, which will take place on the last weekend of April in this year. Welcome everybody, welcome dear press representatives, and welcome dear fellow artistic directors and city representatives of the Echo cities. My name is Daniel Beilschmidt. I'm representing Altenburg, and as in Echo, as we have a rotating presidency every year, Altenburg is now the president of Echo in 2025. That's why I might lead this session a little bit. To have an online press conference is also a new step for us and stresses how much we see the importance of an activity like this to set a sign and to send a message on peace in Europe and out of Europe. Let me in the beginning say something short about Echo itself. Echo is a city network of now 17 cities all over Europe, from Portugal to Norway, from France and Belgium to Poland. And in this city, we have special and very important organs of historical value. And in this city networks, we have each an artistic director concerning with the artistic things on the organs and a city representative. And Echo is concerning about publication in books, scores, audio or multimedia material, and maintenance and preservation of historical organs. It's concerning about education, students exchanges all over Europe, and an organ competition each year. And of course, as an exchange of ideas, and we are running quite many projects together. And one of our main projects in the first half of this year is the Echo for Peace concert, which will take place between 25, 26 and 27 of April 2025 in 14 of our 17 cities. We should not mix it up like a technical event. It's really a very symbolical event. We want to send out in a symbolic way the message of peace and the message of going into oneself and thinking about each other and everybody for himself and herself. And so we want to set a sign of hope and send a human message into out of a unified Europe in these, as we all know, distracted times. Probably we will do later repetitions in later years of these projects, but this is our starting point, and I want to welcome you again. Just one technical advice: please make sure if you don't speak that your microphone is muted. I think everybody is doing this already. And now I would like to hand over to Bernard Foccroulle from Brussels. He will say something about the vision behind Echo for Peace. Bernard.
Thank you very much, Daniel, for this introduction. So this project is coming out an experience that we had in Leuven 2 years ago, in 23 and 24. Twice we had an organ marathon at that time of the year, end of April. The first one was dedicated to the climate. The second was already about peace and climate. And this time, for the first time, we have 14 European cities joining for celebrating peace together with organs and choirs. I think altogether, we have 11 European countries present in this new European marathon. And I think we can be very proud of that first initiative. Why do we want to associate music and peace? I think there are several good reasons to do so. The first one is listening to music. Isn't it exactly the opposite of violence and war. If we listen to, it's another attitude than if we want to be dominant. Listening to music together is a wonderful opportunity to create a community feeling. And again, a community feeling is something that is against violence. Music is also a universal language that speaks to human beings of all origins and cultures and languages. So it's a wonderful way, and I think we are using English today as our lingua franca, but of course music would say much more than we can do with words. And finally, organ music is very much associated with the feeling of the sacred. And today, peace should be more sacred than ever. Why? Why now? First, we have the idea of an European celebration coming in a period where we have the war in Ukraine, we have the war in Middle East with terrible things happening almost every day in Gaza. We have the war in Africa, in Sudan, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and in many other places in the world. We have also many sorts of wars today, not only the military war, which is the more frightening, but also we have ideological war, cybernetic war, economical war, and in a certain way, this is amplifying week after week, month after month. And we have really to think again, what should be done? What should we do to encourage peace and to reduce violence and domination? And also a third element, not unimportant, especially for us in Europe, is democracy is now in danger. And democracy should be linked fundamentally with peace. And the fact that democracy is more and more reduced or more and more in danger is not good. So there are a lot of reasons to focus on peace and trying to reduce and to have the war disappearing. I was very interested and touched to read recently a few quotes by Pablo Casals, the great musician and cello player. He was saying this: I am a man first and an artist second. As a man, my first duty is to fight for the welfare of humanity. I will try to achieve this through music because it transcends the borders of language, politics, and nations. And he added this sentence: the most powerful nations have a duty and responsibility to keep peace. It's my deep conviction that the great masses in these countries want the understanding and mutual cooperation of their fellow man. So now I think it's time to listen to an expert of human rights and extreme poverty before giving an opportunity to each of us, the artistic directors of FECO, to shortly present what we are going to organize on 26th or 27th of April. I would like now to introduce Olivier de Schutter. Olivier de Schutter is a Belgian professor of law at Université Catholique de Leuven and Sciences Po Paris. He has been also teaching in many American universities. He is now, since 2020, special rapporteur at the United Nations for extreme poverty and human rights. And I think his message might be a very inspiring message for all of us.
Good morning. My name is Olivier de Schutter. I'm the United Nations Special Rapporteur on Extreme Poverty and Human Rights. And I would like to congratulate Echo for Peace for giving us hope. Echo for Peace is organizing on 25th, 26th, and 27th of April across 14 cities musical events that call for peace. From Belgium to France and Germany, from Italy and the Netherlands to Norway and Poland, from Portugal and Spain to Sweden and Switzerland. This is extremely important as it takes place against the background of unprecedented regression of international law. The interruption, in fact, of the process of civilization, as it was called by Norbert Elias, that many of us thought was interrupted and irreversible. This process of civilization was to replace might with right. It was to replace force with law. It was to replace the use of war as an instrument in international relations with the peaceful settlement of disputes between nations. Now, this ideal was, of course, at the heart of the establishment of the United Nations in 1945 after the Second World War. And I would like to quote from the Charter of the United Nations, because the words that were pronounced 80 years ago still resonate with us today. The Charter says this: "We, the peoples of the United Nations, determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind. We resolve to ensure that armed force shall not be used save in the common interest." And Article 2 of the Charter of the United Nations includes a pledge from all members of the United Nations to settle their international disputes by peaceful means in such a manner that international peace and security and justice are not endangered. Article 2 of the Charter of the United Nations also includes a pledge to refrain in their international relations from the threat or use of force against the territorial integrity or political independence of any state. Yet, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, today we live in a world in which the use of armed force against the territorial integrity of sovereign states is becoming routine. We live in a world in which powerful nations openly jockey for access to precious resources, including oil, rare earth elements essential to the production of electronic devices, such as smartphones, computers, or electrical cars. We live in a world in which conflicts causing hundreds of thousands of deaths, or even millions, as in the Eastern DRC, are ignored by the media and neglected by governments. There are orphan wars, just like we have orphan diseases, and in both cases, these are not priorities because the victims are poor and powerless. We live in a world in which we are receiving indications of genocides being committed without effective action by the international community to stop them, although there is a duty in international law for all states, regularly reaffirmed by the International Court of Justice, to take all necessary action, including the interruption of diplomatic and trade relations, the suspension of any form of cooperation, and of course, the interruption of any provision of weapons to prevent serious violations of international humanitarian law. We live in a world in which pronouncements by the World Court, the International Court of Justice, and decisions by the International Criminal Court, established in 2001 to prevent and combat the impunity for the most serious crimes of international law, genocide, crimes against humanity, war crimes, these decisions and pronouncements are regularly ignored, and they are circumvented even by countries who profess to comply with the rule of law. We live in a world in which proto-fascist governments seem to want to ignore the lessons from history, which shows that extraordinary crimes can be committed even by the most ordinary of men, so that we need powerful institutions, counterpowers, to protect the achievements of civilization from destruction and to protect history from oblivion. In many ways, these are terrorizing times. Every morning, we seem to be waking up in the corridors of a new dystopia. But Echo for Peace does give hope. Hannah Arendt summarized as follows the lessons from the stories of the Holocaust, the crime of crimes, the large-scale assassination of the Jews of Europe. The lesson of such stories, she said, from the Holocaust is simple and within everybody's grasp. Politically speaking, it is that under conditions of terror, most people will comply, but some people will not. Just as the lesson of the countries in which the final solution was proposed is that it could happen in most places, but it did not happen everywhere. And Hannah Arendt continued saying the following: humanly speaking, no more is required and no more can reasonably be asked for this planet to remain a place fit for human habitation. Well, I'm grateful to Echo for Peace for helping with its modest means some notes of music to ensure that this planet remains fit for human habitation. Thank you.
And yeah, beautiful message that you sent to us. I want to give floor now to each of the Echo cities. We will start with Alkmaar for a short presentation of the project.
Okay, so I just got a message from Pieter van Dijk, the artistic director of Alkmaar, that it is apparently in Hamburg not possible to join this meeting. And he asked me just to go quickly through the impressive program they organized in Alkmaar. And as you can see, it is on Sunday, April 27th, from 11 in the morning until 11 in the evening. So it's really a 12-hour program. And they made the combination of speakers and music. And of course, organ is the main instrument, but they have also singers and other instruments, guitar and clavichord and so on. And the theme is, of course, peace and also sorrow. But all details you can find on the Echo website, you can find in the press kit or on the website of Alkmaar. I think that's okay for Pieter.
Okay, thanks, Nico. So next we have Petra Bjørkhaug from Trondheim and Brita Sjöberg.
Yes,
Hello.
welcome both of us.
I will start. I'm Brita Sjöberg, and in Trondheim we are arranging a 5-hour music marathon on Saturday, April 26th. We will have 5 concerts in 4 different churches, starting at 2 o'clock in the Church of Our Lady, where some of the few remaining students at the Music Conservatory in church music will play at the Sauer organ. We will then move to Nidaros Cathedral, where my colleague Petra and our Echo Young Ambassador Tove Kivik will play at our Baroque organ. After that, we move to Eland Church, where the local organ club, which is a club for young children and youth who play the organ, will perform at the historical organ in Eland Church. And we will at 5 o'clock move to Hospitalskirken, the hospital church, which also has an interesting one-manual historical organ, where the organist of that church, Thomas Weiser, will play. And Petra will now continue to tell you about the last concert.
Yes, at the end of the program on Saturday, we have a concert here in the cathedral, where a guest choir will make a program they call Kyrie, with different Kyries from different masses, together with organ, the Steinmeier organ. They will have that concert. And we we start the Sunday morning with a big mass in the cathedral. It's the Church Council of Norway who's having their meeting in Trondheim that week. And in that mass, they have the theme about justice and peace. And all the languages which are spoken in Norway will be presented in that mass, because we have many Sami languages, and we have a mass with where all these languages can sound and will be heard. So it's important for the Norwegian church, this mass. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Before I would like to hand over to Mafra with João, I would like to recommend that each of us gives a very short context where we are in Europe, because our press representatives probably might not know. So please, João from Mafra, Portugal.
Good morning. I'm Artist Director for Mafra in Portugal, a city in the north of Lisbon, very close to the sea. It is a coincidence that Peter van Dijk, who was supposed to speak in the first place, and Andrea Marcon, who will speak after me, have been together with myself in the first preliminary meetings that led to the creation of ECHO almost 3 decades ago. So I'm very happy now to see you all together with many younger colleagues in this exciting project. As you can see from the ECHO website and the Mafra website, Mafra will have this organ festival from the 25th of April to the 11th of May. And we will celebrate this journey ECHO for Peace on the 26th of April with a series of 5 concerts on the different historic organs of the region. 4 shorter concerts will be performed along the day by young organists, and they will all start with the double canon by Antoine Brumel, Da Pacem Domine. The 5th concert in the evening will present a choir, including a children choir, and will include works directly or indirectly related to peace, such as Da Pacem Domine by Charles Gounod. The presence of the children is quite symbolic in this context, since it's part of a project that involves some 3,000 children in public schools in Mafra and other 3 cities that have choral practice weekly in their school schedules and are chosen in a rotating way for public presentations during the year. In this concert, 60 children will be present alongside the adult singers. Since the idea of ECHO for Peace was first discussed while we were still designing the festival, we decided to dedicate this year's edition of the Mafra Organ Festival to the theme Music for Peace. So not only the 26th of April, but during all 3 weekends of the festival, 13 organists from different regions of Europe, including ECHO Young Organist of the Year, Luca Akeda Sanderson, together with dozens of singers and instrumentalists, will be in Mafra for this symbolic celebration of music and peace. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We are going to Toulouse, Yves Rechsteiner.
Yes, hello. We organized in Toulouse a concert on the Sunday, the 27th, in the beautiful church of La Dorade, where we have a beautiful instrument from 1860. So this concert was organized together with João Tardivel, the organ teacher in Toulouse and the artistic director in ECHO. He unfortunately could not be present this morning in the presentation. So I just try to give a few words and information about this concert. It will be the opportunity to listen to 8 organists from Toulouse. And I'm very happy that all generations are present, from Willem Janssen, who is the founder of the Toulouse Festival, who will play on the organ where he is titulaire, and a lot of young organists from various countries, I must say. We have a Japanese organist playing. We have also a lady from Ukraine. Of course, no mention to do what this implies symbolically, and also, of course, young organist of France and Italy. The program will have a great diversity which also is one of our particularity in Toulouse. It will be, of course, a lot of classical music, not only organ alone, but also pieces with soprano, but also improvisation in other styles of music, like sometimes we do, especially with the presence of Giulio Tosti, who makes incredible projects in our city on that field. So I hope we will have a great number of people coming to listen to all these organists, because of course it will show also the importance of this theme of peace in the present world, where indeed we suffer from very strange news every morning from the radio. The word of dystopia has been heard in this presentation, and I must say that this word is unfortunately very right at present times.
Thank you so much, Yves Rechsteiner from Toulouse. Now we will listen to the presentation of Tangermünde in Germany, Fabrizio Guidi. Oh, or David Boss, yes.
Actually, yes, sorry, we switched that around in the end. Welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, on April 26th, the historic town of Tangermünde in the region of Alkmaar in northern Saxony-Anhalt in Germany will host a concert, part of this project titled Da Pacem Grand Peace, a musical invocation whose resonance echoes far beyond the vaulted ceilings of our venerable church. The choral theme, Da Pacem Domine, dates back to medieval times and has, over centuries, been both a supplication and a lament. In Tangermünde, it finds a new voice, one shaped by the town's own long and troubled history. Just 2 years after the construction of the organ in 1624, war arrived. The 30 Years' War swept through the Altmark, leaving scars, material and spiritual, that lingered for generations. Peace here has always been more than an ideal. It has been a necessity, long awaited. This concert gathers together organ adaptations of Da Pacem spanning centuries and styles. Among them are new compositions by Tangermünde-based composer Dietrich Kollmannsberger and by Olga Minkina, cantor and co-artistic director of Tangermünde at Echo. The program also features an improvisation on the choral theme by Tangermünde's young ambassador Fabrizio Guidi, who is also present today. Interwoven with the music are historical texts reflecting on the city's centuries-long dance between conflict and reconciliation, as well as theological meditations on the fragile, often elusive nature of peace. The concert will be a communal act. Contributions from the Tangermünde Kantorei, the local brass ensemble, and an opening battaglia performed by myself set the stage for a musical dialogue. From that moment, the shared peace call of the other musicians begins. It grows out of conflict, just as peace always does. Because Da Pacem is more than a concert, it's a gesture, a reminder, and perhaps a beginning. Thank you.
Thank you very much, David. Now we will listen to Olkusz, Artur, Szczerbinin.
Welcome everyone. My name is Artur Szczerbinin. I am young ambassador from Olkusz, which is in southern Poland. And also on behalf of Krzysztof Urbaniak, which is the artistic director of Olkusz, I would like to present to you the program we chosen for the Concert for Peace in Olkusz, which we are going to perform on the 26th of April at 6:45 p.m. at the Basilica of St. Andrew in Olkusz, and we are going to play on the Humelnitrowski organ, which was built in 1633. So, of course, in the program, we wanted to correspond with the main theme, peace. So maybe I will just highlight the most important compositions we are going to perform. So we are going to perform composition by Hieronymus Praetorius, Te Lucis ante terminum, and also several Kyrie versets from two organ tablatures, from Wrocław, so from Breslau back then, and from Łowicz, both sources from late 16th century. And we decided to keep the concert in the form of a service. So we are going to combine music, singing, and praying also for peace, of course. So we invited Gregorian Vocal Ensemble from the Academy of Music in Krakow, and we are going to perform the music, the organ versets, interchangeably with the Gregorian singing. This is our idea for the Echo for Peace concert. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now Bernard Foccroulle is speaking for Leuven in Belgium.
Yes, in Leuven, we will have an organ marathon from noon until midnight on the 26th of April. It will take place at the St. Michael's Peace Church, where there is a strong and old tradition of advocacy for peace. I think it's important to say that, and maybe for the future, we could also imagine linking more some churches around Europe that are involved for peace. There is also a beautiful organ made after Concius, where we'll have 12 speakers, one each hour. They will speak for not more than 10 minutes each. We will have 4 choirs, including 1 school, and something like 20 organists, including some students of the several Belgian conservatories. We had 800 visitors last year, and we hope even much more this year.
Thank you very much. Now we are going towards Spain, Granada, with Juan María Pedrero.
Yes, and Juan María is teaching at the moment, but he made a little video for us that I will share with you.
Good morning from Spain. I am Juan María Pedrero, Eco-Artistic Director for the city of Granada. Granada has a long history of different cultures, and as a modern European city, we are strongly committed to the values of peace, justice, and human rights, especially in the present days. We also consider our rich heritage of historical organs as a part of the European culture, in consonance with our aim of being nominated for European Capital of Culture in 2031. We are deeply honored to join Echo for Peace, and we have scheduled on Saturday 26 a journey with 4 concerts. At noon, in the Albaicín, the historical Moorish Quarter, declared by UNESCO World Heritage Site, 2 concerts will be held in 2 of the most significant churches from the 16th century, the Collegiate Church of Our Saviour and the Convent of Santa Catalina de Siena. In the evening, 2 other concerts will take place at the Baroque Church of Santos Justo y Pastor and the Sanctuary of Perpetuo Socorro. 4 different organs, grown from Spanish Baroque to symphonic style, with music from Renaissance to our days. This concert will involve the participation of more than 40 musicians, professional organists living in Granada, and students of the conservatories of Málaga, Jaén, and Granada, with organ and chamber music, and a choir of young voices all day unite to claim for peace. Thank you, and see you in Echo for Peace.
Now we're going to Göteborg in Sweden. Hans Davidsson, please.
Yes, thank you. Göteborg is located on the west coast of Sweden, the second city of our country, and since the 1990s, an international center for organ research and organ art. And we're going to, in a modest way, contribute to Echo for Peace with a 3-hour concert on Saturday, April 26th, starting at 5 p.m., ending at 8 p.m., which will consist of 3 parts. First, I should mention that this church has the world unique and largest mean tone organ in the world, and also an instrument built by Henry Willis in England from 1871, well preserved. So these 2 instrumental voices will be used in this concert, featuring 10 organists from 7 countries, and the age is from 20 to 70. And the first part of this program will contain a variety of pieces, including Da Pacem, the fantasy by Bernard Foccroulle, and one of our young students who has composed a Da Pacem fantasy as well. There will be 1 speaker, in addition to our chairman and representative of the city, and that is the journalist, author, and poet Karin Brygger, who also belongs to the Jewish community in our city and has, among poems and her writings, dealt with Holocaust and survivors. And she's going to intersperse the music with reflections and poems. The second part of the concert features a new symphony composed for the Baroque style organ by Erland Hildén. And the third part of the concert we do in Earth Hour mode. That means no electricity, candlelight, and also music of meditative kind. So we here turn the question to all who come and join us, in which way in our everyday life can contribute to a more peaceful future. So reflections on three questions. The first, what do you need in order to have a more peaceful life in your everyday life? Second question, one of your best friends, what can you do to help for a peaceful future? And the third question, what can you together do? Here, everybody is encouraged to lay down in the benches or rest on the floor, and we will then end the session sharing, coffee or chocolate with people who want to stay and reflect on Echo for Peace and the message that we bring through this project with United Voices for a better world and a world of hope. Thank you very much.
Thank you, dear Hans. Next city is Fribourg with Magali Perret.
Good morning. My name is Magali Perret. I'm speaking to you from the city of Fribourg in Switzerland. Fribourg lies on the French-German language border and is renowned for its many historic organs of great value. They are the pride of the whole region. For Echo for Peace Day, we have organized an all-day program featuring 4 lectures and 4 concerts on the Moser and Manderscheid organs in St. Nicholas Cathedral. The first concert, featuring 2 performers, will convey a message of hope. Russian organist Elizaveta Lobanova and Ukrainian mezzo-soprano Janina Yaremchuk will join forces in St. Nicholas Cathedral. Their program combines Russian and Ukrainian popular words. They will also perform Arvo Pärt's Magnificent Fratres in an organ version. The programs of the other 3 concerts, given by Gabriel Avila, Jean-Louis Bayatag, and Maurizio Crocci, are based around the Gregorian antiphon Da Pacem. Audience will hear different versions from this between the 15th and the 21st centuries. In the middle of the day, 4 lectures will look at the challenges of peace from the perspective of national and international institutions, ethics, and interreligious dialogue. The guest speakers are Marie Lebras, Aki Duardini, François Nockmann, and Alberto Bondonfil. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next city to represent is Freiberg in Germany. Clemens Lucke.
Hello, my name is Clemens Lucke and I'm the artistic director together with Albrecht Koch here in Freiberg, Germany. On Saturday, April 26th, we will be performing a lunchtime concert at the Petrikirche as a part of the Echo for Peace project. In this concert, the University Student Choir of Freiberg will perform works by Orlando Di Lasso, Heinrich Schütz, and Omas Sisask. The choir will be conducted by Franz Fese. The Gottfried Silbermann organ from 1735 will also be played. I myself will play the organ and perform works by Arnold Schlick, Johann Heinrich Buttstedt, and Johann Sebastian Bach. A representative of the city of Freiberg will be present to deliver a welcoming address and offer brief thoughts on the topic of peace. We hope for a lively response and want to set an example for peace and international understanding. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clemens. Now we will have Brussels with Charlene Berthollet, Young Ambassador.
Hello, I am Charlene Berthollet and I'm speaking to you from Brussels, Belgium. We are very happy to organize on Saturday, 26th of April, a 4-hour event, which will be divided into 1-hour slots, each one with a variety of choirs. So we will have female choir, children's choir, and mixed choir, as well as a variety of speakers, of which you just heard Olivier de Schutter. And of course, organ music, both in solo settings as well as chamber music settings. And we will also hear at the very end an intervention of the poet of the city of Brussels. The event will take place at the Église des Dominicains, which is a church that is right next to the European institutions, and that is also right next to a beautiful park where the event will actually start. So the first choir will sing in the park and will lead us into the church. We are very fortunate also to have the event co-presented by 2 journalists of Musique 3, which is a Belgian classical music radio channel. And we also have the support of Musique 3, also Le Soir, which is a major Belgian newspaper, and also, of course, Amnesty International. And we are very much looking forward to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlene. The last city to present the projects is Altenburg. This will be done by me. Altenburg is a small city located in Thuringia in the south of Leipzig. And we have a very beautiful organ from 1739, an organ which Johann Sebastian Bach himself has played. And this will be in our castle church as a 1 hour and 30 minutes program, because we still will have a very cold church there. Our Lord Mayor, André Neumann, will be giving a welcome address, and then we will have a mixed program with solo cello, with choir, with 3 organists. 2 of them are young ECHO ambassadors, Theresa Heidler and Kilian Homburg. The 3rd one is me. And we are very lucky to have a choir. It's a new choir from Leipzig with a very high artistic level, Ensemble Lily Boulanger. And they will perform a very beautiful piece by Lily Boulanger, which is called Old Buddhistic Prayer. And in this Old Buddhistic Prayer, you hear the necessity of respecting any kind of life. And it fits very well. The choir will also end the program, as Andrea Marcon suggested. We already planned the same to do it with the Dona Nobis Pacem by Johann Sebastian Bach. All those musical pieces will be intermediated by lectures and by a speaker. Lectures will be done by local actor from the local theater, Jakob Spiegler, and the speaker is Klaus Wittmann, former retired general of the German Armed Forces and a member of the Synod of the Lutheran Church of Germany. And he was one of the authors of the Peace Memorandum of the Council of the European Church of Germany, EKD, from 2007. He will speak on peace in threatening times. These have been the presentations of each city's project. Thank you, everybody, for your contribution to this beautiful European project. I think we will all feel very connected to each other and to a very basic and important human idea. So I wish you, everybody, good luck for the Echo for Peace project, which will be after Easter. So before everybody of us, since we are organists, we will have a lot to do for the Easter festivities. Have a good time and see you next time. Bye.